44. Genu. The people are called genus in the galaxy gens. The people are called genus in the galaxy gens. Make and sell space cars. I got there early morning and it seemed like the bus station was quiet. I got off the bus and it is the first time that I have been here and this should be a fun time. I want to see the new space cars that they have out for this year. I also want to see how they are built. I come up to the bus window and said, "Where is the plant where they make the space cars?" The guy behind the counter said, "Just call a taxi and ask for Genus Space Cars and he will take you there." I said, "Thank you." I walked away and flagged down a taxi. The taxi stopped and I got in and said, "Please take me to the Genus Space Cars factory." The taxi driver said, "Sure." We was on our way. We pasted all kinds of things on the way. It was interesting to see what is on some planets. The old buildings and the old streets that need work on because of all the bumps we hit. It seems like quite a ways because we are still on the road. We passed some small houses, and I mean small because it looked like there was 4 rooms, and I mean not only on one floor. 2 down and 2 up. Then we passed some big houses and they were big. It looks like we are coming up to the factory now. The taxi driver pulled up to the main gate and stopped. The guard said, "Who are you bringing here and for what reason?" I said, "I am from the Wishy newspaper and I would like to talk to some about an interview about the plant." The guard said, "Hold on and I will call it in." The guard walked off and grabbed a phone and I could not hear what he said. Finally he come over and said, "You may go in and the one that you want to talk to is Mike." I said, "Thank you." And away we went. The driver pulled up in front of a big door and said, "This is where you want to go and do you want to wait for you or not?" I said, "How much is it going to cost me for you to wait for me?" The taxi driver said, "Nothing but the fare back." I said, "Then if that is what it will cost me, then you can stay and wait." I got out of the car and went inside. I went up to the front desk and asked for Mike and she said, "Sit down there and he will be right with you." I went over and sat down and waited. Finally he come out and he said, "Follow me." I got up and followed him. We went down this big hallway and then he stopped and opened a door and said, "Come in and sit down." I sat down and then he said, "What brings you to Genu?" I said, "The Wishy newspaper that I work for is sending me to every planet in all the galaxies and this planet is next. We are running stories of what goes on the planets that we go to. So make the story interesting." Mike said, "Well, once in a while things get interesting here but not all the time." I said, "What would you like to tell me about that will not get you in trouble?" Mike said, "Well, there is one story I can tell you that happened here and it was quite funny to us but maybe not to you." I said, "Well, tell me about it." Mike said, "We were trying to find a new name for out space cars that would not only sell them but be funny too. We called it the Star Rabbit. It would take you from one place to another in one hop, skip and jump. But it did not work because everyone that bought it expected it to do that. But of course it would not do that. It flew like all the rest of them. We ended buying all of them back and changing the name to the Stardusting to every time one of the Star Rabbits come back we would said, 'What happened, your rabbit die?' It did not go over very good with the big boss but we had fun with it." I said, "That was quite a story and do you have an authors?" Mike said, "That is the only one that I can tell you because if I tell you any more than that one I will get fired." I said then, "Can you show me around the plant any?" Mike said, "That I can do." We got up and went inside the factory and it was quite something to me anyway. After we see almost all of the factory Mike said, "Well, this is all of the factory that I can show you and Tom will show you out." I said to Mike, "Thank you for your time and if I am back this way I will stop and see you, if that is all right with you." Mike said, "Anytime." I followed Tom and when we were out of sight of Mike I said to Tom, "What do you do here?" Tom said, "I am Mike's right-hand man." I said, "What does Mike do then?" Tom said, You was talking to the owner of the plant, didn't you know that? I said, no I did not. Then Tom said, whatever he told you is all he will tell any reporter that comes here. I said, then this story has been told before? Tom said, that story is so old that the space car that was built is in the junk pile now and it does not make any difference. I said, this is the first time I have been here so I will believe any story that he tells me. Tom said, would you like to hear the latest story of what happened a month ago and it almost shut down the factory? I said, that is the story I want. Tom said, I will meet you later at the town tavern at 6 tonight. I said, I will be there and I left. It was almost 3 now and I want to find a place to stay the night. When I got back into the cab I said, take me to a motel very close to the town tavern. The taxi driver said, why would you want to go there for anyway? I said, I have an interview later. The cab driver said no more and drove me to where I want to go. I got out and paid him. I walked around for a few minutes to find a hotel and finally I found one. I got a room and watched TV and waited for 5:30. At 5:30 I went down to the town tavern and I waited until 7 and he did not show up so I went back to my room and went to bed. The next morning I went to the space bus station and left. Done by Jack Wisha for the Wisha newspaper.